Hey y'all, it's me, Miss B. Today we're going to be solving equations with variables on both sides. Right here I have the notes written out, so go ahead, or the steps written out, so go ahead and copy those down. I'm going to be talking through them. Alright, so first we have that we're going to distribute. Secondly, we're going to combine like terms, but we can only combine like terms on the same side. Next, we get the same variables to the same side. So for x and y, we'd get x's to one side and y's to the other side. Next, we'd undo any addition and subtraction, and then after that, we'd undo any multiplication and division. All right, so let's jump right into some examples. I've already copied what the steps are, that way we have them available to us. I'm actually going to draw a dotted, which doesn't have to be dotted, a line down the middle here, just so I can see where my equal sign is. It's not quite straight. There we go. I can see where my equal sign is, because if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other, remember? And then also, we don't want to move anything over without using our mathematical processes. Okay, so step one is we're going to distribute. So this 3 is going to get carried through there. Let me make this a little smaller. 3 is getting carried through there. So I'm going to have 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And then I'm left with minus 2. Distributing on the other side, I have 4 times 2x is 8x. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Remember to carry it all the way through. A lot of you will just multiply it by the first one, which is a common mistake. Don't want to make it that. So we're done distributing. Next, we want to combine like terms on the same side. On this side here, negative 2 and 12 are the only like terms that we have. So we're going to have 3x minus 14, because negative 12 minus 2 is negative 14. And then this side stays the same because we can't combine any like terms. All right, so we want to get our same variables to the same sides. I would move the x's first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. And so I'm left with negative 5x minus 14 equals 8. Next up, we want to move our non-x's to the other side. So plus 14 to both sides to undo that minus. So it's minus 5x equals 8 plus 14, which is 22. Okay, so we got our variables to the same side. And with that step, we undid any addition and subtraction. Next, we're going to undo any multiplication or division. So you can see right here that negative 5 is being multiplied with the x. So to undo multiplication, we have to do division. So we're going to divide by negative 5 on both sides. We're left with x equals 22 over 5. 22 divided by 5 is 4.4. All right, so that right there is our final answer. Let's do another example. I'm not going to write the steps out this time. I think we'll be okay without them. Let's see if I can get my dotted line here. All right, so I'm going to draw a dotted line. Just kind of helps me think. All right, so first I'm going to distribute, but I don't have anything to distribute. Second, I want to combine any like terms on the same side, which I don't have. So my next step is to get my x's to the same side. So I'm going to subtract 3. Actually, you know what? I'm going to subtract 0.22x from both sides. 3.42 minus 0.22 is going to leave me with 3. Let's do it properly. We do 2 minus 2 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2 and 3. So 3.20x minus 1.22. And then we're left with 0 on this side. That's okay. Then we want to undo any addition and subtraction. The way we're going to do that is by adding 1.22 to both sides. So to undo subtraction, we do addition. When we do that, these cancel out, and we're left with 3.20x equals 1.22. Next, we want to undo any multiplication or division. So right here I have multiplication. To undo multiplication, I divide. So I'm going to divide by 3.20 on both sides. And then with x is equal to, let's go ahead and do, I don't have my calculator, 1.22 divided by 3.2 in the calculator is about 0.38125. If we want to round that, we would just do about 0.38. So that right there is our final answer. So I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to highlight this. So this is, right here is exact, and this right here is approximated. All right, so I want you to go ahead and do these next 2 problems on your own. So after the first one here, I'm going to run through this pretty quick. So I'm going to draw my line just to separate. Step 1, distribute. So we get 10 minus 5x equals 6x minus 9 minus 3. Combine any like terms. There are none on the left side, but we combine these ones on the right. So we get negative 9 minus 3, which is 6x minus 12. Oh, I made a mistake. I accidentally wrote x right here. There we go. Move our x terms to the same side. I'm going to move 5x over just because it's easier to make something positive. So I get 10 equals 11x minus 12. Undo any addition or subtraction. To undo subtraction, I add 12 to both sides. So we get 22 equals 11x. Undo the multiplication by dividing by 11. I get 2 equals x as my answer. All right, go ahead and do the second one. All right, to do this problem, I'm going to draw my line just to separate. Step 1 is distribute. You might need a calculator. So 0.22 times x is 0.22x. When we multiply by 10, all we have to do is move the decimal place over 1, so we end up with 2.2. You can also plug that into a calculator, equals 0.32x. Next, I want to move my x's to the same side, so I'm going to subtract 0.22x from both sides. and I'm left with 2.2 equals 0.1x. When I divide by 0.1, that wrong. Divide by 0.1 on both sides to undo that multiplication. I end up with 22 equals x. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure. I always get tripped up. Yes, you get 22 equals x. I'm just cleaning up my 2's here because they didn't look like 2's. All right, so 22 equals x is that answer. All right, so now we're going to do some word problems. All right, it says you are helping to make potato salad for your family picnic. You can peel 2 potatoes per minute. You need to peel a total of 30 potatoes, and you've already finished 12. How many minutes will it take you to finish? So this is going to be a little bit of writing the expression. So we can peel 2 potatoes per minute. It's important. You need to peel a total of 30, and you've already finished 12. Okay, so let's start with our potatoes. I'm going to call P my potatoes. And let's talk about, or I'm sorry, not potatoes. Let's make, we already know how many potatoes we have. We need M to be our minutes. And so let's talk about the time it will take. Or not time, but our expression for the potatoes. Goodness. We'll call it for the work being done. So I peeled 2 potatoes per minute, and I already finished 12. The way that we would write that as an expression is going to be 2m plus 12. And the more minutes we have, the more potatoes we'll peel. Then we need a total of 30 potatoes. So we're going to set that equal to 30. And we want to see how many minutes, oh, that is not a highlighter, how many minutes it will take to finish. So this right here, if I have m blank, then I know how to solve. So we're going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and solve for that. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle and solve. So I'm going to, you know what, I'm actually going to rewrite the equation over here. So 2m plus 12 equals 30. Subtract 12 from both sides to get 2m equals 30. That's isolating our m, undoing any addition or subtraction. And then I divide by 2. And so we get m equals 15. We need to label though, so it's going to be 15 minutes. And that is how long it will take us to peel 30 potatoes. All right, next up, we want to talk about the identity. So the identity is that, oh my goodness, that's not right, is that both sides of the equation are the same. So when that happens, we get all real solutions or an infinite number of solutions. So that's going to be something like 4 equals 4, or 3x equals 3x. And when that happens, these would be our solutions. So let's jump into some examples here. I'm actually just going to do one of each for the sake of time. So we're actually going to skip these ones over here. All right, so let's go ahead and draw our line. First step is to distribute. So 4 times x and 4 times negative 5 gives us 4x minus 20. And then on this side, distribute 2x times 2x is 4x, and 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. Now, you might already notice that we have the same thing. Both sides equal each other. But let's just keep going, just in case you didn't figure it out. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides. And so I get 4x equals 4x. And at that point, it should be pretty obvious. And so now we would write that our answer is all real solutions. You can have either one of these. You don't have to write both. All right, so go ahead and you know what? We do have to do this example. I lied. Because let's look at this example here. So let's go ahead and I keep doing that. Distribute on this side. So I get 3x plus 4 equals 3x minus 3. Let's go ahead and add, subtract 3x from both sides. I get 4 equals negative 3. Now ask yourself, can this ever be true? The answer is no, so we get no solution to this. All right, so that's why it was important we go over that problem, because we have all real numbers and no solution. So go ahead and do these two problems on your own right here. So for this first one here, I'm going to go ahead and distribute. 2 times 2k is 4k. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 4 times k is 4k. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. If I subtract 4k from both sides, I get that negative 2 equals negative 8. That can never happen, so we get no solution. Next up, do this problem. All right, so I'm going to combine like terms on the same side, so that's going to be 6x, 2x, or negative 2x, I should say. And then 4 and 1. So let's go ahead and combine those like terms. 6 minus 2x is 4x. 4 and 1 is 5. Let's go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides. And we get 5 equals 5. 5 is always going to equal 5 no matter what. So we get the answer all real numbers. All right, we're actually going to skip this last one for the sake of time, but know that you will have to do these and know how to do these.